the host of Those Cast. Make some noise and welcome Vinamre Kasana!
I'm amazed. So many people came to watch me talk about adult content for 2 hours. How many people here have actually told someone where they're heading tonight? I mean the truth. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. How many people here have watched my podcast with Nick's Indian? Okay, amazing. Bangalore is a fairly progressive city. I'm glad we started to do the podcast here and not in Delhi because Nix was concerned about issues. This is Dostcast Live. This is the first edition. I'm kind of nervous, so I've downed a vodka shot because it's easy to do it from the studio and it's a little inundating to do it in front of so many people. So kudos to all the stand-up comics who wear the disgusting clothes and come on every night and do a show. I want to talk about sex, obviously. So I think India has 1.5 billion people. हमारे यहाँ पे बहुत सेक्स होता है और हम उसके बारे में बहुत कम बात करते हैं. You know, in 2018, the government banned porn. Guess what happened to porn stats? Case in point, right? In a country where every hour, despite, having dinks nowadays, Bangalore mein wo chal raha hai na aajkal, double income, no kids. Despite that, Tier 4 India is filling the quota that you guys are leaving. Kids are being born and porn is being watched. I watched my first porn clip. It was Lisa Ann gets fucked in the kitchen. But largely my intent today is to not do what we've done in the last two podcasts. It's to understand the business of porn. See, I'm a content creator. You've seen those casts, right? In those casts, if I stop working, if I stop speaking, the podcast stops. Similarly, if Nick's Indian stops pumping, the money stops. So, I would like to invite on stage Dil ke Chikitsak, Yoni ke Khojak, also known as Dr. Chadda, Nick's Indian!
Thank you very much, everyone, for coming here. And I was not expecting so many people will be coming to listen to a conversation about an industry which is usually stereotyped and judged, but it takes a lot of open mind, and you have shown it. Thank you very much. And thanks to Vinamr for organizing all this and its entire team and my team member for making this happen. Usually my work is confined within the boundaries of bedrooms, but he has brought it all the way to the ballrooms. So, thank you. Let's start.
निक्स भाई, आपका दोस्त का लाइव पे तीसरी बार बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. मैं सबसे पहले ये पूछना चाहता हूँ कि ऑब्जेक्टिवली पॉर्न स्टार्स कितने पैसे कमाते हैं एक साल में?
It's a big range. Like, you know what? The media has hyped it so much. You hear about OnlyFans creators and porn stars earning millions and millions. But that just very few small percentage, probably 0.5% of the overall adult content creators and porn stars might be earning in millions or even hundreds of thousands. Average creator earns less than $1,000 a month. So it's not a lot of money. 70 to 75% creators on OnlyFans, which is the most popular platform, they earn $200 a month. So the scene is not good, So just because few people are making millions, doesn't mean everybody is making millions.
So I should get a refund for my OnlyFans millionaire course?
Definitely.
So in a ballpark roughly, right? Say you've shot about 250 scenes, right? All across. You've obviously...
350.
350. So much life force has been wasted for the entertainment of thousands and millions across the country and abroad. Roughly, मतलब मोटा साल के अंदर, you're the face and the body of your porn, right? How much you end up making?
Look, when I started, it was very slow for the first 3 years. I didn't make much, probably few $1,000s a year. But the years after that, there have been good years, and a good year usually resulted in $1 million.
You make 9 crore rupees from porn.
Yeah, in one year I did. Then the following years, it dropped a little bit. 50% of that.
नए लौंडे आ गए थे गेम में.
Yeah, it's because there's so many creators, so many platforms, so many production houses. Like even in India, if you see, every day you see somebody new coming up, even if they cover their face, wear a mask, even if they make horrible kind of scenes, they do take some share of my business, right? And everybody's business who is making quality content. So definitely, I mean, it has dropped, but couple of years I did do very good. So in that range.
तो उस साल मतलब कोई स्पेशल सीन्स आए थे मार्केट में.
Yes, quite frankly, yes. Like when I started, and then after the first 2-3 years, my scenes just became more popular, and I became more popular. So probably people just wanted to see who this guy is, and just because of the sheer population of India and Indians living abroad, they just subscribed to my platform to just out of curiosity to see who this guy is, who is effing around all over the world. An Indian guy who speaks in Hindi and makes Jija Sali, Devar Bhabi, these kind of scenes. I even hired, older men for Sasur Bahu. So people got very curious and they just subscribed out of curiosity, and those were the years that went very well for me.
So अब क्या it's time for retirement or what?
No, now I'll become daddy. I'm entering that age where I'll portray myself as stepdaddy.
How do you deal with piracy? Because if I search for you, I'm not going to subscribe to you. One, I can ask you for your videos, right? Because I have your WhatsApp. But
Right.
in case I wanted to independently research so that I can write a thesis on porn evolution in India, उस sense के अंदर, how much does piracy take away your business?
Piracy, like it's a challenge. It's a big challenge, and unfortunately, like in the mainstream content, there's a lot of support from the platforms. There's a lot of support in general. The acts which are passed, the copyright violators are penalized in some manner or the other. But in the adult industry, nobody cares. So you have no place to go and report. You just have to keep fighting with them. Like there are tools which we can use. We can report directly to the website which is pirating the content. They sometimes take it down, and sometimes you have to write to Google to delist them. So for example, you will not be able to search my content. Google will delist them from all Google searches. And then sometimes you can write to the servers, like the hosting servers, like you may have heard of GoDaddy and things like that. So the piracy website has a server where they host their website. You can report to them, and they might take down the website. So you have to keep fighting it, a continuous battle. Like it's never ending. The moment I release a scene, the very next day it's pirated. So I can only minimize it. I cannot completely eliminate it.
मैंने ना अपने क्लॉड को बोला था कि निक सिंडिन के बारे में ना कोई हिस्ट्री दो. वैसे तो आई नो यू, राइट? तो उसने मेरे ही पॉडकास्ट से मेरे को बोल दिया कि ये वाराणसी से है, IIM गया हुआ है, ठीक है, और लॉ ऑफ अट्रैक्शन का फैन है ना? Which is the craziest part. Like people assume that a porn star is into manifestation and shit. But when you first started, shooting your porn scenes, you spent 50-60 lakh rupees. What does that money go into, and how did you make it back?
I saved a lot of money when I started, when I wanted to start this. In the beginning, I wanted to become an actor, but nobody gave me work in their production house. So I had to set up my own production. Like back in 2017, 18, when I started, this creator model was not there. There were no independent platforms like we have today, OnlyFans and all this. They were not there. They were just starting up. So it was the older model, whereas you have to have a production house, produce it yourself, hire actors and actresses. In my case, actor will be me, but I have to hire the actresses, pay them money. So for all of that, I saved up from my previous jobs. Fortunately, I was from a good B school. So I landed up in high-paying jobs within India. I saved 50-60 lakhs in like 7-8 years working in the corporate world. And then I went and invested this. And for the first 2 years, nothing came back. Like I had last 5-6 lakhs left. And the option was to come back to India. But post-COVID, things changed and people started getting curious about me. And, in general, people started spending on adult content. So, I recovered it very quickly after that.
How many people here actually buy their porn? See, it's all Reddit folks. You went to a B school, right? How did this B school thing help with building your porn stack, if I would say?
Directly, any kind of technical knowledge, not much, but probably some of the softer skills. the ability to communicate with people, the ability to understand people. So the softer skills were more into play, like, what basic education does help you to be able to have better communication with people, be more presentable, be more confident. So those kind of skills helped me a lot. I mean, stepping outside of India and interacting with people in Europe, interacting with people in the US, could be a little difficult for someone who is, who has not seen the world a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
I know what gets views on podcasts, right? It's mostly geopolitics and bunch of negative verbs, exposed, roasted, right? Stuff like that. Porn pe views ka kya raaz hai? How do you get maximum amount of views on porn? Like, what's the strategy behind that?
I mean, you have to understand your audience, obviously. You need to know what your audience wants. In my case, since most of my audience is from India and Indians living abroad, so for me particularly, I would say just dress a women in sari and people go crazy. My scenes with, the most gorgeous, beautiful girls wearing Western clothes doesn't get that many views. While an ordinary looking girl with in a sari will get like millions and millions of views and resulting into subscriptions as well. Similarly for, all the other production houses and creators, they have their own audience if they understand it, what their audience want. Like, for example, I know guys who are very out of shape.
I was going to ask you if fat people make more money in porn.
Oh yeah, they do. There are a couple of guys in Europe. They're absolutely out of shape and their tool size is also very, very small.
Tool size.
And-
You're such a mechanic, bro. So technical.
Yeah. I'm a mechanical engineer also, by the way. So, if you are someone who is so relatable to the audience, those two guys are so smart, like they never shave off their bodies. They have very hairy shoulders and chest. And, they shoot with the same actresses and their scenes have got more views than, some very chiseled guys shooting with those actresses. So you got to understand your audience and shoot accordingly.
जैसे हमारे यहाँ पे पहले ये सारे खान्स वगैरह वाले एक्टर आए थे, फिर वो NSD के जो देखने में ऐसे लगते हैं कि ये आम अभारती है, वो हिट हो गए. ऐसे ही जो
Exactly.
साधारण लगता है, मोटा है, चीटोस खा रहा है और पॉर्न देख रहा है.
Exactly. That's true. And, in today's world, Cheetos कोई खा रहा है क्या? खा लो, but वो मोटा नहीं है. Sorry. In fact, the reason why I'm talking about this, because some of my friends who are, they're not actually jealous, but they tell me that, yaar, tu kitna masti kar raha hai and all that. And they're out of shape. I show them, look at this guy. So if you want to do, you can do it. Like, it's not impossible for you. You don't have to think like you need to have something special in you to be able to do porn. You can do it if you want.
Coming back to a question about creator economy, जैसे मैं podcast बनाना बंद कर दूँ तो दुकान बंद हो जाएगी. So like I said before you came in, I said if you stop pumping, right, your stocks stop pumping, right? They go for a crash. How do you get off this bandwagon? Do you hire other actors कि यार मतलब मैं तुम्हें direct करूँगा और ऐसे time आ गया retirement का, मैं चाहता हूँ मैं वलेंसिया में जाके ऑरेंज जूस पीऊँ और मतलब retire हो जाऊँ, porn की जिंदगी बहुत हो गई. तो उस sense में how do you get off this hamster wheel? Do you have other people who work with you and do they contribute to revenue?
I've tested this. I have hired other guys. For example, like I said, whenever I need to shoot a Sasur Bahu kind of content, I hire older men.
Who are not Indian, right?
They're Europeans, yeah. And then I recently tested African origin guys with European women in Indian sari and all. So that also worked.
Intersectionality.
Yeah. Like everything. All cultures mixed. All cultures, all ethnicities together. So I tested that model also, and that also worked. So I can always do that. Like if I step back into production and direction, just managing the back end of it, I can hire 5-6 guys who will be, in different age groups, and then keep doing the same thing. Dress the girls in Indian dresses, salwar suit, sari, sometimes in Middle Eastern dresses as well. And get these guys to work with them, and it will work. So there'll be a decline initially, and probably some of the people are my fans, like who are on my platforms who are paying for it. They will not like it, but then the new ones will replace them.
What's your business model? Like how do you make money?
Mostly is through subscriptions. I do not work like many other adult content creators who interact a lot with their fans, through video calls.
You prefer to let the body do the talking, right?
Yes. Yes. I can interact in groups, but I have a difficulty interacting one-on-one. Yeah. So if you'll tell me that I want a video call with you, even if you pay me a lot of money, I won't be able to do that. And if it's Even if you ask me that I have to have sex with a girl and you just want to watch on a video call, even then I won't do it. So that is not my model, which is very common in adult content creation. The girls and the guys, they interact directly with their fans. They do custom videos, they do video calls, they do text messaging, or all adult chatting and all. I don't do that. I just have a very simple model, shoot with the girls, finish the scene, edit the scene, upload it on all my platforms, and let people subscribe and watch it.
What are the money shots?
Obviously, everybody wants to see the climax, unlike the Indian porn wherein it just abruptly ends in between. So you never know when the scene is going to end. But yeah, that is one of the money shots. And then again, you have to understand your audience. For example, let's say you're making a very specific kind of scene. You want to show a particular body part. Then you have to focus on that. So you have to understand your audience and your genre. Like different websites focus on different things. Mine is a generic website. The money shot is especially the last one. And then obviously I have to make sure that the girl's expression is always visible. My expression is not important. And the penetration is always visible. So these kind of things.
Is it tough to make it in the industry as a man?
Oh yeah, it's definitely tough. Yeah,
आपने expect नहीं किया था.
No, it is tough. I think you have to have real passion for this. If you only take it as, maybe I will enjoy a little bit and make some money, it won't work. Like you need to have a real passion. Like passion means some kind of creativity. Obviously, the desire for sex is there. That is definitely a driving factor. But the creativity part also has to be there. Like you want to show some silly stuff with sex and that will drive you.
Bro, for sure. I mean, I know कि मैंने वो पुरानी वाली porn देखी हुई है, vintage वाली जो French वाली होती है with the big bushes and like the jazz in the background, fucking like, faded film. It does look like art. Like, there's some porn directors who feel like that they are artists. But ultimately, why are porn premises this absurd? मतलब हम ये उसमें how do you like ideate? Do you have a Claude? You have a Grok? Like, hey, today I am having sex with this performer from Spain. Write me a scene about how an Indian doctor checks with a stethoscope and then eventually sex. Like, how do you do it?
Yeah, I mean, that part I will take the credit because I do all that stupid, silly.
Next Indian writer, director, actor.
Yeah, so I come up with all the silly kind of, scenarios. I mean, another aspect of me is that I like doing funny things, not just totally serious and not directly jumping into sex. Something funny, stupid, watching my bhabhi in the kitchen and, making faces and and taking different angles of her expression, my expression. So all that is my brainchild and it is just to, engage the audience. I've seen my audience in particular, like especially people who subscribe, they do really want to watch some story, not just directly jumping into the sex. Although, the girls with whom I work, they know little to no English. And obviously they don't know Hindi, but I give them some words in English, some words in Hindi to speak, and then they are able to bring that interesting. Like for example, Devarji, pani pee lo. Then Devarji will say, no, pani nahi, kuch aur peena and all that. So all that is important to make people a little bit more, engaged for the scene, engrossed in the scene, and that leads to sex.
As a creator, I face all kinds of burnout. जैसे बहुत सारे podcasts करता हूँ तो मैं थक जाता हूँ. So you're just one man, right?
That's why I said you need to have some passion for this. Like, like it has to be a mix of creativity and the desire for sex. Your desire for sex has to be much more intense and higher than average human being. And your desire for venting out your creativity also has to be much higher.
So your body really is your instrument. You're like a painter, you're saying.
Yeah. I don't know what that means. But I do paint. And if I can end that, I do paint a lot of faces.
No, I mean to say कि भाई यार आपका revenue आपकी performance पे depend करता है, right? So some days you're exhausted, you haven't slept, right? Rent is due, phone आ रहा है, existential crisis, you're standing in some European city, वहाँ पे वैसे सब depression में बैठे हैं. तो उस वक्त आपको जाके scene shoot करना है, right? How do you constantly get yourself in the groove to keep doing this?
That's a good question, but I've been also thinking about that. Like, It's sometimes challenging, but I think I have that basic sincerity about whatever I have
You're a
picked up.
sincere porn star.
Yeah, I'm sincere in everything. Like, like if I have to come to meet someone, if I have to do any kind of thing, if I have to talk to you at a particular time. So it's just my sincerity. Like, I'm over sincere, to be honest. Sometimes people disappoint me because they don't show up on time or they don't show up at all or they don't behave
Or
as
they don't come in time, right?
yeah. So I think it's just my passion and sincerity. Like, I'm super passionate about this. Like you asked, what will I do after I retire? But I don't have any plans to retire. Like, all this is just, testing the model is just for diversifying my content. It's not testing for planning my retirement. I do feel like I have too much passion for this. I have had any number of opportunities to, pursue other things. Some very, beautiful women trying to settle with me, but I had to let them go because of this
Duty
passion.
calls.
Yeah, duty calls.
There's these companies like the big companies, OnlyFans, Pornhub, right? All of these companies where you can look up performers by name, you can look up genres and categories, right? How much of your business do these guys steal?
It's a symbiotic relationship, okay, because I'm also there on that platform. So somebody might be searching my content also, or even the type of content that I make. So if I make a particular kind of content and anybody searches that type of content, I will also pop up in that search, right? So directly they don't take my business, but obviously the general competition is there. So many creators, so many platforms. There could be a chance that these tube sites like Pornhub and all may be promoting some of the creators and channels, production houses channels. But in general, it's a symbiotic relationship. I get something from them, they get something from me, and obviously they are aggregators, so they get something from thousands of creators and porn production houses.
You were also sponsored by like some kind of a betting app, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What, like, is that a substantial amount to?
Yeah. I think I would have to attribute some of my financial success to the sponsorships that I received from several betting apps over the years. It started in 2021 and it started with some companies which got shut down. Then in 2022, the Russia-Ukraine war started, and most of these companies have their bases in Russia and Ukraine. So it got disrupted a bit, and then some new companies popped up. But that's a substantial revenue. They pay very well, and they do support adult content creators. Over the years, I have always been fortunate to get a lot of contracts from several betting apps.
जो porn के scenes होते हैं, you told me last time you shoot them in Airbnbs, right? And you tell them that there's going to be lots of boom bam. So, sorry, I just can't believe I'm doing this on a Sunday night. How do you like find these actors that you want to shoot with, both males and females? Like, do you scout for them online? And how do you do that? And then how much do you pay them? Is it basis? So, for example, I'm a podcaster, right? And if someone else has a distribution and I bring that distribution on, so we collaborate our distribution. तो मेरे million followers हैं, किसी और के million है, तो हमारे 2 million हो गए, right? तो उस sense में, like, what is your sourcing process like, and how much do you pay these performers?
Yeah, I mean, when I started, it was all through agencies. Like, there are modeling agencies. There were modeling agencies who would provide models. They will take a certain commission from me as a producer. They will take a certain commission from the model as well. That was the only way of, getting actresses back when I started, 17, 18, 19, 20, even until 2021, 22. But then with the boom of creator platforms, these modeling agencies' role diminished. And a lot of girls, actresses, actors, everybody came like directly, and they started reaching out to people who were paying for hiring them. And then they also started reaching out for collaborations. So the last few years, I never had to go through any agency. I just had to, talk directly to the girls and
slide in the DMs.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to shoot a scene?
Exactly. And then through networks. So if I shoot with one girl, she will tell me she has another friend who wants to shoot with me. And then she will tell another. So, I mean, it's a networks. And then if I know another guy, I will tell them, okay, this guy is also coming in this city next month. Do you want to shoot with us? So it's all networking.
Is there jealousy in the porn circuit? Like, there's this guy called Adam22. Lena the Plug is his wife, right? So वो porn creators हैं America में, right? और this guy had like his wife, like basically do a scene with this guy called Jason Love, right? जो is African American, right? तो फिर लोग कह रहे थे कि ये Adam22 तो कक निकला, right? ये तो क्या कर रहा है इस तरह से. and there's a lot of that happening. But in that sense, do performers get competitive or jealous amongst each other? Is there that kind of rivalry happening?
Yes, of course. Like it's human nature to, feel jealous, especially in the same range. Obviously, you don't feel jealous with someone who is too high or too low. But if, people who are performing well amongst themselves, they are jealous. Jealousy in terms of success is one, but jealousy in terms of relationships and all, most of the performers, if they are having relationships, it's usually open relationship. I don't know, like in this particular case, why they were jealous. Like they were all obviously
all making money. They all made money from this.
Yeah. So people who are in relationship in porn, they are in a very open relationship. Usually they know that the girl is going to shoot with several other guys. The guy is going to shoot with several other girls. In terms of the human relationship aspect, the intimate relationship aspect, there's no jealousy as such. It's more towards the financial aspect of it.
This is probably controversial, but I feel like कि मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जो लोग porn देखते हैं उनको ऐसा लगता है कि you can mimic that in real life, right? And there are enough voices in the world right now who are saying कि आप porn देख के उसको imitate मत करो, right? Maybe your tool size isn't adequate, right? Or maybe it's like a woman isn't that overtly horny, right? Ultimately, you're an adult performer, right? How do you think of that in your head? कि मतलब लोग porn को देख के real life में enact करते हैं फिर उनको cervical हो जाता है?
No, I agree. Like what you see in porn is not always possible to be enacted in real life because real life scenarios are totally different. There are so many factors, like your partner may not always be looking at her or his best. When you see a porn actress, she's totally in makeup. She is, wearing sexy clothes, lingerie, which will be taken off, obviously, but she has full-on makeup. Like people are prepared. Those people are, largely in good shape. They take care of their bodies. Some of them have naturally very good bodies, So what you see in porn definitely sets up an expectation which might not be fulfilled in real life. And then obviously when it comes to the actual act of sex, again, for most people, it's just one position and 2 minutes. So there also, if you're comparing it with porn performance, probably you will be stressed out and you'll be unhappy. So people can learn a little bit from, porn if they are very open, broad-minded. You can try some new things that you see, and if you find them comfortable as well as pleasurable for yourself, you can try a few things. But expecting exactly as it happens in porn might be, delusional, I would say.
जैसे हम podcast की preparation करते हैं, wake up in the morning, I read my research and have my coffee, do some meditation, and भाई अपना workout वगैरह करके हम पहुंच जाते हैं स्टूडियो कि गेस्ट आ रहा है, हेलो हाय करते हैं, टाटा बाय करते हैं, उनसे रैपो बिल्ड करते हैं, बैठाते हैं, बैठो जी आओ, क्या लोगे, बातचीत शुरू करते हैं, पॉडकास्ट खत्म कर देते हैं. What is a typical day when like a shoot is happening?
When I'm shooting, like I try to keep like the previous day also not too hectic because my shootings are like 2 hours long and then it's intense. So I start like a little late. I'm not an early morning person. I start like at 10-11 in the morning, and then the girls will arrive. Usually most of the girls are traveling from different cities and all, so either I would go to receive them or send somebody to receive them, and then they will come, they will relax a little bit, they will do their makeup and stuff unless I have my own makeup artist for them. And then, when they come, their tea, coffee, water,
Same shit.
Same stuff. Yeah. I do take care of my breakfast and all, keeping it light, my vitamins.
Rajma chawal kha ke you can't really like perform, right? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no rajma chawal, no pyaz. So I have to take care of the basic, food. And then we start with selfies and, reels these days to build some rapport, because that's very important. Most of the times, it's the first time I'm meeting the girl. They're not shy at all, obviously, but still you need to build some rapport because you will be doing intimate scenes with them. So by the time we do the selfies and reels, we are pretty comfortable. And then I explain them my silly stories to enact. And
2-3 हिंदी के words बता देते हो कि ये बोलना है.
2-3 हिंदी के words बता देते हैं. And then we do the story part, which takes a little bit more time. And then we do the sex. All in all, it takes like 3-4 hours from the time the girl arrives to the time we finish and do the contracting work, it takes like 3-4.
What's the contracting work?
I mean, the release forms, I have to take her consent, I have to take her IDs. Obviously, I know that everybody is above 18, but I still have to take the IDs, keep them in my records. And then,
So you're also an OYO receptionist on the side.
oh yeah, I'm everything. Like I have to take it and contracting in terms of the model release forms to get their rights for release on any and every platform.
So what's the legal framework that governs a porn video? मतलब क्या होता है कि आपके हम face rights use करने वाले हैं वीडियो के अंदर infinitely हम उसे monetize करने वाले हैं, like how technical does it get?
Exactly, you're exactly right. Like I think the entire contract, the main points is this only, that she testifies that she is in capacity to undergo a contracting, and with whom she is undergoing a contracting, for what she is undergoing a contracting, what kind of content she did. So it's mentioned photographs, this, that, blah, 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 videos, and this, including pornography and all that. So all the details, and then the place where it's signed and everything on that part, and then that she is providing the release, that the complete copyright is owned by the other contracting party, which in my case is me or anybody else, and she does not have any right on the content unless it's a collaboration contract.
In that case, you do a revenue split on the same app.
No, we don't do revenue split. That's too difficult to monitor. It's just we just share the scenes. So she takes the scene, I take the scene. She uploads it on her platforms, I do it on mine.
Achha, so because you have different audiences across, so you both monetize it at the same time,
Right.
using your own platforms. Got it.
Right, because there's no way to find out exactly how much a particular scene is making if you are on a subscription-based model, right? If you're on a pay-per-view model, like if you pay-per-view means for every video you charge a certain amount, and then if that is like, let's say $10, and you sold 1,000 copies of that and you earned $10,000, then you can know how much you earned. But on a subscription-based model, you will not be able to know how much one scene earned.
It's like Netflix for porn. Like
Exactly.
you have the subscription, keep watching whatever comes. Right?
Exactly.
What countries are very permissive when it comes to shooting porn, filming porn? Yes,
I mean, Europe, entire Europe, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, all of Europe is very open. You can just don't shoot it on streets in front of children. But otherwise, even if you're shooting on a street in a corner, nobody will bother you.
street पे scene shoot कर सकते हैं?
Right. There are so many websites being run, public sex and all that. So you just have to make few arrangements that no children should be
Right.
there in the background and all of that. And obviously nobody should be bothered. Like if somebody complains to the police, then obviously you might be in trouble. But otherwise, if you are silently shooting 3 people, 1 girl, 1 guy and a cameraman, and you can finish it off in 20-25 minutes, nobody bothers you.
The cameraman must also really do it for the passion, है ना?
Oh yeah, the cameraman. And most of the times, like the cameraman is also an actor. Like they are not just, they are the the actors who are not super successful in being able to make their business profitable. They become
तो आप
cameraman.
नौकरी पे लगा लेते हो कि तू shoot कर चल.
Plus, I think a lot of cameramen, they are they are cucks. As you said, so they like watching other girls. They might be imagining their own girlfriend or something.
Controversial, right? Some people here probably have watched a porn, right? Nowadays, अब ये जो anti-porn advocates आ गए हैं आजकल, right? ये लोग कह रहे हैं कि भाई porn देखना is like cuckolding. Do you believe that?
No.
No? What do you guys think? Do you feel like watching porn is like being cuckolded? Or do you really just do it for leisure, entertainment, pleasure? Depends. Someone said depends. People discover what is sex there. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The thing is, like, probably it's up to a person's imagination. Like, if somebody is really that submissive, he can create that scenario for every scene that he is watching, right? He can always think of himself as the submissive guy, the cuckold guy. So it's all about the scenario. So let's say if you are a straight, normal guy, you will build up that scenario in your mind. If you are a dominating guy, you will build up that scenario in your mind, unless the genre itself is totally opposite of your nature. But otherwise, if it's a generic porn, if it's a generic scene, depending on what your style is, you will just imagine that, right? So, for example, if it's a cuckold porn, then as a straight, normal, dominating guy, you would not like it, okay? But if it's a generic porn, and then even a cuckold can watch it, and even a normal guy can watch it. So I think it's like this.
How are you so unjudgmental when it comes to like all the varieties of choices that people have when they watch porn? जैसे performers में मिलते हैं, अब किसी ने बाल कलर करा रखे हैं, किसी ने नाक में वो पहन रखे हैं, क्या बोलते हैं, नोज रिंग पहन रखी है, ठीक है, टैटूज कर रखे हैं, कोई कह रहा है कि मैं एथिस्ट हूँ, कोई कुछ है। ये बहुत ही मतलब आप LGBTQI++ के भी वो उससे ऊपर की इतने परमिसिव हो आप सोशली, ये किस तरह से आता है और ये इंडियंस में क्यों नहीं है?
I don't know, like, what did you see in me that you're asking about this?
मतलब कहने का मतलब जैसे आप एक porn performer हो, है ना,
हाँ.
you're an actor, right?
हाँ.
So many people from different walks of life come to you,
Right.
and they all have different preferences, different
okay,
sexualities,
okay.
right?
Got it.
ऐसा होता है कि कोई इंसान जो है काम नहीं कर रहा, जो probably थोड़ा socially conservative है, वो जज करता है इन चीजों को openly.
I don't care like from where you come from, like, or I just care about, you know, what I'm about to do with you. As long as you are ready to do that with me, it's consensual, and you know we are on the same page. and it's just 3-4 hours that we have to spend together, and then you are on your own, I'm on my own. I don't have to start a family with you.
फिर भी बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं, दे क्वेश्चन द एथिक्स, द मोरालिटी ऑफ पॉर्न, कि भाई ये गलत है समाज के लिए, ठीक है, ऐसे लांछन उठाते हैं कि आप अच्छा नहीं कर रहे। आपकी इस पे क्या राय है?
See, in general, there is a consensus that you know, collectively as human beings, we have agreed that 18 is the age of where you decide a lot of things for yourself. तो जो porn है वो भी obviously it is for 18 plus. Okay, so once you are 18, and as humanity collectively across countries, across societies, if we are agreed, then let us not judge it after that, what an individual is doing. Like if somebody is watching porn for entertainment, there's no problem with it. Obviously, addiction तो किसी भी चीज़ का अच्छा नहीं है ना, मतलब सिगरेट शराब भी आप पीते हो. If you're doing it in limit, it's okay. If you're doing it, you know, you're addicted to it, then it's bad. So porn भी वैसा ही है. It's not like right and wrong. Just don't get addicted to it. Use it as one of the ways of entertainment. Protect people under 18 to watch it and consume it. And I think that's a very good question. With this regard, I would like to share like the amount of strictness that has happened across the world. Like the governments are making sure that, you know, people less than 18 do not watch porn. So there are so many age restrictions. Like for example, if somebody goes to my website, it has not happened in India yet, but in US, around 10 to 14 states, UK, totally, Germany, Italy, Spain, totally. If they are going to subscribe to any website which is authentic, they have to upload a ID.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, that has caused a lot of business loss to legit production houses like mine. The piracy websites don't care. They are anyways selling it to, I mean, showing it to everyone. But all the legit websites have lost a lot of business, not because people under 18 were watching it and now they have stopped, but because people over 18 do not want to show their IDs. Nobody wants to show their ID, although it is not stored, but it's a third-party verification. So you never know. Nobody is confident of showing their IDs, you know, and face for age verification. So what I wanted to say is, like, the governments are becoming more and more strict in preventing people less than 18 to watch. So that's what we also support as, you know, legit porn creators, porn production houses, that it is bad for people under 18. People under 18 should not watch it. Or if collectively we as, you know, human beings decide to raise this age to 21, in certain jurisdictions it is 21, you stop it. But once you have agreed it is 18 or 21, let people do what they want to do.
Dude, I cannot go to your website and upload my Aadhaar card at all.
No, in India it is not. In India it is not.
मतलब
Yet.
अभी सरकार वो फैमिली सेंसस का वो भी कर रही है कि परिवार में कितने लोग हैं, ठीक है, मतलब मैं कैसे बोलूँ कि ये विनम्र कसाना है, इसका आधार कार्ड ये देखता है porn, ये I feel like the secrecy of porn is what makes it enticing, which is why I feel like OnlyFans in some way is such a distortion of society, right? कि आप पैसे दो, आपका कार्ड फाइल पे जाएगा, आपका CA भी चेक करेगा कि देखो उसने OF, मैंने literally I hosted an OnlyFans star when I was in the UK, right? उस पे क्रेडिट कार्ड की स्टेटमेंट में OF लिखा आता है, तो वो कह रहा था ये क्या है, मैंने कहा रिसर्च है ये, तो it's just getting harder and harder to sort of cover your tracks when you are watching it, right? And I don't think India as a society is ready yet to openly say that I watch Nick's Indian. I love his Bhabhi scenes. I think Dr. Chadda is fantastic. I think I want to see it in theaters. I don't think we're there yet, right?
I mean, that level of evolution has not happened. I mean, India is definitely nowhere close to that. You know, I appreciate there's so many people here in this particular room who have such a broad-minded and reached that level of evolution to come and listen and be part of such kind of a conversation with an open mind. But I mean, out of the 1.4 billion people, the percentage will be like negligible people who have open minds. So with this kind of change, I think a lot of Western countries, they will normalize adult entertainment. People subscribing, because the number of people that are subscribing to adult content has significantly increased in the last 3, 4, 5 years. So over the next 5 years or 10 years, I think it will become very normal for, some American girl to see her boyfriend's credit card statement and see, few transactions of, it will become very normal and acceptable. But for India to reach that place of acceptability, it will be, 50 years.
ऐसा लग रहा है जैसे हम विकसित भारत की टेक्नोलॉजीज की बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे कि भारत का राइज कैसे हो सकता है. But see, whenever there is a sexual revolution that happens, right, ultimately what ends up suffering in some ways is the family unit. Like we're seeing now that people have a multiplicity of ways in which they relate with each other. या तो शादियाँ नहीं है, या monogamy खत्म हो रही है, polygamy शुरू हो रही है, or there's all this situationship stuff happening, right? So do you feel like porn is a direct antithesis to like conservative society where like a man and woman marry and have kids?
See, porn is not responsible for that. There's various other reasons why that is happening. It's because of the independence that is coming in people's lives. Everybody is independent. Nobody needs to be dependent or, be scared of anyone. Like earlier, 10 years ago, 15, 20, even 20 years ago, like the woman was very much dependent on the man.
Correct.
So because of the level of, economic progress and the independence that has come, these things will happen. People will have very shorter relationships because now relationships have to be true connection. If there's no true connection, very soon you will know it and you will move away from it. So there's no direct linkage with porn, with this behavior of, humans in general. Obviously, porn benefits from it. Porn benefits from your loneliness. Because when you're lonely and you don't want to spend time with another human being, it's better to watch something on a screen and be happy and, rejoice for a few moments. And because you have been heartbroken a few times, why try? We want to give it one more try. Why give it one more try? Leave it. There are so many other things to enjoy, and porn, not only porn, all kinds of entertainment.
All kinds of escapism, right?
Yes. Like you are doom scrolling all day on your Instagram and YouTube. That's because you're lonely. If you had real passion with your family, you would not have time to doom scroll all day. If you had real passion about some activity, you want to make a change in the world, you want to do something, you want to run a business, you will not have time to do all that. So all that is because of ease of life. The ease of life allows you to be independent, and independence allows you to not necessarily depend on other people. And then that results in you spending a lot of time on so many modes of entertainment.
I've been reading this book called The Comfort Crisis, where this guy takes a hunting trip across Alaska for 33 days. और वो अपनी नॉर्मल लाइफ पे रिफ्लेक्ट कर रहा होता है. तो वो कहता है मैं अपने ऑफिस में बैठता हूँ, फ़ोन चलाता हूँ, गाड़ी में बैठता हूँ, गाड़ी से घर जाता हूँ, घर पे जाके टीवी देखता हूँ, बियर पीता हूँ. I'm doing no movement, right? I'm just going through the motions of my life and nothing new is happening in my life. It's like where in this hunting trip, ना खाना है ना कुछ है, आपको भालू कभी भी मार सकता है. So that you go back in that state that your ancestors were probably in, right? I feel like simple physical pursuits, right? People who don't want to do porn, just want to go to the gym, right? Stuff like that really helps you just moving your body more and just being out in the world and meeting people, right? Perhaps helps you offset this constant online use, right? They say never get high on your own supply. I never watch podcasts. मतलब मेरे को तो क्या करना है podcast देख के, मैं बनाता हूँ. You, right? You work out. You eat well, right? You're not watching porn. You're making it, right? How are you able to remain healthy, right? Throughout all of this marathon-like work. It's like Delhi half marathon भी कम है और Mumbai half marathon भी कम है और मतलब जो Nigerians उनको जीतते हैं वो भी कम है इसके सामने. So what is the secret for long-lasting endurance in this? How do you keep yourself healthy? I'm saying this because I met Ram Gopal Verma, who's an enthusiast of porn and also a director. And he said he made a movie with Mia Malkova. And Mia Malkova is a prominent porn star. And he said she's one of the most wonderful people. She reads literature novels, works out, sleeps on time, very similar to you. Do you see the duplicity in what you make and your lifestyle?
I mean, health is something which is very primary for me. Like it's natural in me. I don't eat anything unhealthy. I don't drink for the most part, except if it's an international flight of 14, 15 hours. I don't smoke at all. I eat only bland food like chicken breast, broccoli, brown rice, eggs, bread, brown bread.
So, bro, you're a gym bro.
Yeah, and I go to gym for 5 times a week. In India, I couldn't go. I've been here for 14 days, but I didn't.
Why? Because they would recognize you.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's safe. Somebody will drop weight deliberately on my. I'm working out bench pressing and somebody drops.
ये इसकी इनकम का सोर्स खत्म करता हूँ.
You never know in India. So, but otherwise, I'm like very health conscious. Sometimes overly conscious. Like if I don't go to the gym for few days, I start feeling bad. I've been eating very unhealthy also in India, but again, all that will stop once I go back. I mean, health is something which is very important for me, and it's naturally, I've been taking care of it forever. It started somewhere when I was, and one reason why it started was because I wanted to be in this industry. Back when I was, I should not say it, I was a teenager at that time and I watched it.
But you said it.
Yeah, I 18. So when I watched it as a teenager, 18, I made up my mind. And at that time, by the way, all the guys were very chiseled, and they used to have amazing, great physique. So I used to think like, oh, these guys are enjoying so much and they have amazing bodies. And I used to be their fans. I was never a fan of anybody, in the mainstream entertainment. So I thought I will make bodies like them. And as I grew up, I started gymming. And once I started gymming, I saw improvement in my body and everything. And I continued from there. So now I've been working out for like 20 years or so.
Sick. Can you guys guess how old is he? You want to say it?
Yeah, no problem.
Take a wild guess.
69.
69.
We have to take all the guesses and take an average of that. No?
Bro, you're such an engineer. I did commerce without maths.
No, I can do it on the spot. I just have to be able to listen to it. My maths is very good.
See, the thing is, you've got Dr. Chadda. I think you should do a character like वो फिटजी वाले जो टीचर होते हैं ना, वो भी बहुत चलते हैं. वो चलते बहुत हैं. इंडिया में ना सर वर की डिमांड बहुत ज़्यादा है कि जैसे XYZ सर की मैं वीडियोस देखता हूँ, बड़ी अच्छी फिजिक्स पढ़ाते हैं, केमिस्ट्री पढ़ाते हैं. I'm just saying, like, think about it from a business standpoint. It makes
That's a good
sense.
idea.
Come on, guys. Are you with me?
Noted. और कोई एक दो ideas? हाँ?
Sex वाला. This guy.
अच्छा क्या जैसे वाला है वैसे sex
Yeah, I was trying to avoid.
Is वाला very popular?
Yeah.
भैया सू मत करना.
अभी लाइव शोज का थोड़ा ऐसे चल रहा है ना इंडिया में.
हमें नहीं पता था आपके बारे में, माफी. कैमरे पे देख के मैंने माफी मांगी.
वो तो हम काट देंगे. कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, तो हटा देंगे.
जो माफी मांगी मैंने वो
नहीं जो मेंशन करा है. माफी वैसे भी वीडियो में हर 2 मिनट में लगा देंगे. In general, it's a very apologetic conversation.
Yeah, the views mentioned in this podcast are not the क्या बोलते हैं podcast?
The views mentioned in this podcast are not the hosts and guests.
Yeah.
They are AI.
They are AI.
So, but yeah, you've come back to India after 8 years, right? It's a long time. मतलब India 8 साल पहले was a very different country. Not as much consumption happening, not as much like discretionary spending. अभी देखो ये पूरा रूम भरा हुआ है, पॉन्ड के बाद सुनने के लिए आए हैं और ये पे करके आए हैं.
सब्सक्राइब किया है कि नहीं?
It's surprising, right? Like पहले ऐसा होता था that live shows, events, people could generally not afford, right? And this country has changed drastically. The kind of food we eat, the kind of coffees we have, the kind of money we spend as Gen Zs, millennials, or the next generation is very different. When you were growing up, probably, right? Like, cafe, coffee table, date pe jana was like such a big expenditure, right? Or even for me, I remember when Domino's or Pizza Hut came to town, it was such a big thing. But now people look down on Blue Tokai ki ye kya hai? Isse bhi bahut badhiya cheez hai. How has India changed, and like, how are you adjusting to this country now, having lived abroad?
I came after 8 years, but I've been seeing the spending trend. Actually, like one reason why I've been able to sustain myself is because people are spending, and they are spending on entertainment, and they are spending on adult entertainment. I never expected that so many people living in India will buy subscription in spite of so many restrictions. उनको VPN लगाना पड़ता है मेरा website खोलने के लिए.
It's a country of jugaad, my friend.
हाँ, country of jugaad. So definitely, I think one reason for that is the amazing economic progress of India over the last 7-8 years, right? Everybody has got some money to spend. Everybody is buying cars. People who were driving cycles are in cars today in 8 years' time. Probably everybody is making good progress in their finances and they're spending money. In terms of though infrastructure, I would say, I mean, I don't know about other cities, but Bangalore doesn't seem to be doing very well. The infrastructure sucks. The traffic is too bad. Like I came here 8 years ago. In fact, in Bangalore itself, I came 8 years ago and it wasn't that bad in terms of the traffic. The roads are still all, with potholes and everything. People have money, but probably the government is still, there's corruption in your thing.
ये तो political show बन गया, Nix.
Yeah. Again, sorry. And I think it's the young people. We all know, I think our Prime Minister keeps bragging about this. We are the country with the highest number of youth. I think 65% of India's population is young population. And that is all working class. Although in many cities, there is problems of employment, but still more young people are working, generating money. They're spending money. So that is what we are seeing. When I was very young, like spending money in a coffee shop would be a big thing. My family would not give me money to spend in a coffee shop. But today, you're a youngster, you're earning some money, you spend all of it on coffee shops, having a coffee in a 5-star hotel. So that
घर नहीं खरीद सकते. तो
yeah. For that, you have to have a saving mentality.
They haven't all done MBAs from IIM, my friend, like you.
Yeah. IIM has definitely helped me. I mean, you asked me a question like initially, as I reflect more, like now, as I become more business oriented, like in the beginning, I was more passion oriented.
Mm-hmm. As with more founders, right? You're looking for a grand exit.
Yeah. So as I look at my work as solely business, definitely some of the principles that I learned in my B school will help if I have to go through a valuation tomorrow to be, if I want to sell it or give some stakes to someone to further expand it, I can use those tools and techniques that I learned in my MBA school.
Purely for research purposes.
मतलब समझ जाओ.
Both genders, right, sometimes in India do a horrible job at pleasuring the other. Having access to data that you have with your subscribers, what have you seen about the Indian psyche? कि उनके comments से, उनके messages से क्या समझ में आता है कि ये लोग अंदर से क्या चाहते हैं? Because if you ask someone directly, they will never say what they want, right? But you, in a way, have access to this desire. You have access to lots of data around people's desire.
It's a bit of, this diversified, I would say. I think women don't express, like I have female subscribers as long as they are mentioning their gender. I would have less than what Pornhub or some big websites have as traffic. Like, for example, Pornhub has almost 30% female traffic. And you'll be surprised to know that India is more than some Western countries. Like India...
About 30% also for India.
Yes. So if you might think that, okay, this 30% might be skewed because Westerners are watching more, females are watching more, but that's not the case. Indian females are more on Pornhub than Westerners. But my website will have a little less percentage than that. And they haven't been very expressive, except praising me. Not about their desires. But men, yes, men have different kind of fetishes. And they want to see, as diversified as somebody just wants to see the girl in socks for the entire scene. Somebody wants her to not remove her, undergarments for the entire scene. So people have various kinds of fetishes, like unimaginable fetishes. Men express it all the time. I haven't heard any women telling her fetish or something, to be honest. Except for praises for me, I haven't heard anything.
As a performer, right? Yeah. Purely as a performer. क्योंकि ये messages मेरे पास भी आते हैं क्योंकि I have had the fortune of doing 2 podcasts with you, right?
You are also very popular.
नहीं, मैं अपनी popularity की बात नहीं कर रहा. मेरे पास इस event से पहले ये message आए, भाई निक से मिलवा दो, मुझे भी स्टार बनना है. The number of jobs you can create, my friend.
Yeah,
Have you
I
thought
mean,
about internships? Because this whole donkey to Canada route is not working out for a lot of people. And a lot, because I get these messages all the time. वो फिर वो Instagram पे audio calls missed आती है ना 3-4 ऐसे, और उसमें लिखा होता है HI भी नहीं HY, hi भाई निक से मिलवा दो.
और उस प्रोफाइल के 5 फॉलोअर्स होते हैं और वो 2000 लोगों को फॉलो करते हैं.
You know it, my friend. You know it. Yeah. But out of pure curiosity, what about careers in porn? What does it take? Because that's a question I get having podcasted with you.
I mean, nowadays you can build any kind of career. Like porn is a very, it's like a mainstream creator business. You can have your content manager. You can have, somebody can become content manager for, a famous creator. Somebody can become the camera guy, editor. Somebody can become the social media manager. Porn work or any work related to porn is similar to any work related to any mainstream content creation. So there's no difference in that today. You have so many avenues to contribute. You can become a model manager in terms of not modeling agency, but managing the model in terms of her logistics and all of that.
जैसे एंड्रू टेट ने करा था कई साल पहले.
हाँ.
है ना? You have your own platform, right? OnlyFans is way more prominent. Why never do the switch?
I think OnlyFans is prominent more for women. Number one, women creators, because it's men who are predominantly there who want to watch women creators, or for male creators who are gay. OnlyFans as a platform, or all of these creator-centric platforms, are for creators who are selling themselves through direct fan relationships. Custom videos, video calls, chatting. Even though in many cases those chattings and custom videos obviously and video calls will be directly with the creator, but many of the chats are with the agent of the model, not the model herself. So these platforms are more for creators who are connecting directly and selling themselves, rather than creators who are selling content. So there's a little bit of difference in this. And I only sell content. I only sell videos. I don't interact with fans directly. So because it's just not my nature. Who will I interact with? The women are not that much into, direct callings. And men, I'm not gay, so it's difficult for me to, it's not difficult, it's impossible for me to to do that. So for gay creators and for women, female creators, it's very popular.
I never asked you all these years, what does Nix Indian mean?
Nix Indian, see, when I started, I thought, what name should I choose for myself? Because obviously you have to choose a different name than your real name.
Faladi Ghoda अच्छा नहीं लगा था?
Faladi Ghoda. So I thought something which will, which will become popular. So my nickname in my home is Nikki. So I chose Nix from Nikki. And then I thought, what should I choose as my last name? And then I thought everybody will search on Google, on all the free tube sites, Indian porn. And then I thought, okay, Nix Indian. So, and Nix Indian sounds very good actually, like Nix Indian. I thought it sounds good. So I said, okay, done.
What a great SEO decision that's still paying off.
Yeah.
So many years later.
Yeah. Even if I wouldn't become popular, if somebody will search Indian porn, like that is what I thought at that time. Someone will search Indian porn, it will pop up.
Yeah. Also, like if you think about names, like if you were called Rajat Ghai, or Rahul Tevatia, no one's going to watch your porn. It's just too direct. I think performers need to have a name, right? Yeah.
or Ram Prasad Chaurasia. Sorry again. कोई राम प्रसाद चौरसिया भाई सुना कर दे.
नहीं कोई इंडिया से बाहर जाओ कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. Join the ranks of Lalit Modi and Vijay Mallya, right? Okay, look, I think I've fairly discussed what I wanted to in terms of the business of porn. I'm also doing my best asking you all kinds of questions around shorts and revenue and whatnot. But yeah, model hai, right? But you have to be in it for the long run like you are, right? Because people are here with the condition that people are respectful. हमने कोई भी unparliamentary बातचीत नहीं करी है यहाँ पे. भाई बदतमीजी मत करना, ठीक है? Nix is an open individual, as you've seen, a dynamic, diverse individual. I'm running out of adjectives. He's a good guy. I now would like to invite all of you to ask questions of Nix, of me, and we are more than happy to answer. Crazy, huh? I didn't expect Dostcast Live was going to be like this. You know, I thought कोई ऐसे फाउंडर को बुला के बात करते ही हो, यार आपने 4,000 crore कैसे कमाए हैं, लोग सुनते वर. This is good those cast style. Cheers man, cheers.
Hi, Nix. My name is Vinank. Big fan.
Thank you.
When you do so many scenes with different people, right? What about the health concerns and health issues?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I think Vinamr asked in one of his podcasts though.
Yeah, he wants to ask you directly. Maybe
Yeah,
he has
yeah,
some.
Yeah, sure. That's a very good question. And if you are planning to do it, it's very important. So we do all kinds of health tests. Probably, like I would say, like not to demean anyone here, but out of the people here, the number of times I do my health test in a year is greater than all of you put together. Or probably your number will be 0. Nobody would have done any kind of STI or HIV test. Like, how many times have you gone to do your HIV test or STI test? Maybe some of you have had multiple partners, you know, if you are a little bit have a little bit active sex life. So in porn industry, we do every 2 to 3 weeks, especially if we are shooting continuously. So the tests consist of all basic STIs like chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, and then HIV, obviously, some hepatitis, C, A, B tests. So it's a very detailed testing model, and now it's very common across the globe. It has been standardized. So there are clinics in all major cities. For example, if I go to Europe, every city where I shoot has got a lab which is dedicated for adult performers testing. So we know that everybody is getting tested from that lab, which has a reputation, not just any place, not some place which can produce a fake test result. A reputed lab which is dedicated for adult talent testing. And we do that test regularly, and that's how we protect our health.
Lal Path Labs, if you're watching. You gotta sponsor this guy.
Yeah. Not the kind of वो बस में कमजोर क्या होता है वो?
Yeah, who else? Yeah, go ahead.
I just noticed Nick's aura and like his energy is very zen and calm. So like, is it because of having like so much sex that now you've like ascended some levels of enlightenment or something? Because it's just something I'm seeing very, very evidently. Like, or
Okay.
do you have a meditative practice or something?
What's your name?
Vasu.
Yeah, Vasu, good question. No, I think it's a mix of both. Actually, you have said it. I'm not trying to just steal your words to answer you, but actually it's a mix of both. There's definitely because of having sex with a lot of women, I do not have that longing or craving which so many people have because you don't get a chance to do it, so it's suppressed. In my case, it has not been suppressed. It would have been suppressed if I wouldn't have pursued this career for myself. But because I've done it for so many times with people of different kind of backgrounds and places, that longing is not there. I obviously enjoy it when it's in front of me. I enjoy it. I take full advantage of that moment. But there's no craving or longing, so it's not in my head all the time. And then obviously for the rest of the time, I do a lot of other work. You know, I spend time in nature. I enjoy my coffees. I enjoy my gym. I do a lot of I would say research, not exactly research, but self-exploration, and then research about cosmos, about mind, about body, about human emotions, thoughts, feelings. I try to bring everything under one holistic umbrella, like spirituality, business, life, sex, human relations, everything under one, and live life as one entity and not separated into, you know, different unauthentic expressions. So meditative practices obviously also comes in that. Yeah. Did you get it?
Fantastic, man. Huh? Yeah, also, just by the way, for context, जब मैंने Instagram पे Nix को follow करा, तो Nix ने मुझे follow नहीं करा. It's fine. My feelings were not hurt.
No,
But-
I'm sorry. I didn't follow you because I was not following anybody who is not in
but
the
that's
porn.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So Nix followed 12 porn stars, and 13th was Bob Proctor, who is the guy behind Law of Attraction, right? So this dude's heavily into Law of Attraction manifestation. He's manifested his co-stars, this moment, all of that. No, it's wonderful. The last time we did a podcast, we talked about some of the books that got him to become a porn millionaire, right? And I actually bought The Science of Getting Rich. What a phenomenal
Yeah.
book.
Yeah, everybody should reach. Like if you want, I can recommend a few more books.
Sure.
Oh yeah. So I mean, I recommended 3 books last time when I was talking to Vinamra on his podcast. They were, you tell the 3 books, if you remember. But you bought only one. You bought only
जो
one.
पैसे वाली थी वो मैंने पढ़ ली
okay.
थी, The Science of Getting Rich.
Yeah. So like, if you really are interested into, improving your finances, do get Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. It's an amazing book and it's a thin one. And keep reading it many times. Don't just stop it in once, and let every word, every paragraph, every chapter get absorbed. Let it get internalized naturally. Don't force it. Read that book. It will help you 100%. If you want to dig a little deeper into workings of mind and, human consciousness in general, go for The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. That's an amazing book. It will empower you so much that you would not look forward to other people's reactions, or you'll not have too many expectations from other people. You will know that you are totally responsible for what happens in your life, in every area of your life. It covers all areas of life, relationships, health, and it gives so many testimonies of real people that you will know by reading that book, like how your mind works and how in general human consciousness works. So that's the second book I would recommend. The third one is totally about business, which is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, but that's totally business oriented, although it does touch a lot of other aspects. But the first 2 books are great. After that, I read a book named Conversations with God. And I forgot the author's name, but you can search it. It's an amazing book. It's by a Western author, someone named Neil. Okay. Conversations with God. It has got 3 volumes. I've read only first. You should read that. It is an amazing book. And then I can recommend one more book, The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence. Again, I forget the names of the authors. Florence Scovel, someone like that. Florence is the first name. The Game of Life and How to Play It. Again, these 3-4 books I've read, and I don't read too many books, but these 3-4-5 books, I keep reading them again and again. And they are so empowering. It moves the needle in my life in every area, in wherever I want to.
Did you guys expect to be a part of this conversation? It's fucking wild, right? Okay. Who else?
Yeah, but I would encourage you to read these books. I can guarantee you. And if it benefits you, do write an email to me on @gmail.com.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, letting me know how my advice to you all of reading this book helped you.
Okay, who else? I think you had a question. Yeah.
So why did you open your own platform instead of joining as a model for a big channel like Brazers or any other?
Yeah, I mean, when I started, actually I was searching for work. Okay, I approached a lot of big production houses to work as an actor, but they never replied to me. Then 1 or 2 guys replied to me from Europe, but then I thought, by that time I understood the business a little bit, by the time I got their replies. And then I thought it's not beneficial for me to work for them, even though I was not making money at that time, but I knew that my thing can click in 2-3 years time frame. So I did not work for them. I just kept concentrating on my thing, and finally it did click. Yeah.
All right. Who else? Let's go with her. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Princey. Purely from the content perspective, are there like any strict no-nos for you which either respects your boundaries or your partner's boundaries that way? Like आपको पता है कि ये आप नहीं करोगे.
Yeah, I mean, for me, usually I'm pretty flexible. I do everything. So from my perspective, no. But yes, I obviously ask the girls if they are not comfortable with something. I ask them. Sometimes I come to know about it in between the scene, in between the recording, and then I stop and change. So there are definitely girls have their own limitations, and they tell me.
Yeah, you.
हाय माय नेम इज शैलजा. तो मैंने ओवर द इयर्स देखा है कि एआई से जो वीडियोस बनती हैं आजकल, तो हॉलीवुड में भी जो मूवीज बन रही हैं उससे काफ़ी मतलब डेंजर हो गया है. तो हाउ योर इंडस्ट्री इज कॉम्पीटिंग विद एआई, मतलब पॉजिटिवली एंड नेगेटिवली आप बोथ?
I mean, AI is there and it is going to be there. ऐसा तो है नहीं कि AI को हम reality ना माने. It is a real thing which is going to take up a share of the business. So in terms of competition, yes, जैसे इतने सारे creators आ रहे हैं, वो कंपटीशन है, वैसे ही AI भी एक कंपटीशन है. बट देन एट द सेम टाइम जो साइज ऑफ पाई है, द बिजनेस साइज इन टोटल, द एडल्ट इंडस्ट्री इन टोटल, वो भी बढ़ती जा रही है. तो we all are existing, we all are coexisting, we are eating each other's business. We can diversify कि कुछ AI भी डाल दें अपने उसमें, but how much can you do? It's about at the end of the day, how much can you do? Like if you can challenge everything and adapt with every changes that is happening, great, you will be one special business owner. But then otherwise you have to just accept the challenges, but know that your niche also has a market, and you keep focusing on your niche, and it will keep giving you what it has been giving you.
Who else? Yeah, let's go with you.
You read this book of Power of Subconscious Mind and how to not get bothered by anyone else, right? But I'm assuming that you got into this industry much before that. So how did you break out of log kya kahenge question?
Yeah, I think that was something very natural in me. I was, I would not say a rebellious kind of kid, but I was non-conforming. Like, जो मेरे मन में आएगा वो ही करूँगा. I was like that. Like, I somehow had this natural instinct कि किसी का बुरा नहीं करना है, किसी से कुछ छीनना नहीं है, लेना नहीं है, किसी का नुकसान नहीं करना है, deliberately किसी को बेवकूफ़ नहीं बनाना है, किसी को exploit नहीं करना है. That basic understanding was there, but किसी की सुनना नहीं है. अपने मन की करना है, जो मेरा मन है वो मैं करूँगा और मैं अपने आप कर लूँगा. That was my nature always, and probably as I understand more, like you said, कि उस समय तो ये सब किताबें नहीं पढ़ी थी, बट वो किताबें अब पढ़ के पता चलता है कि बिकॉज आई हैड दैट काइंड ऑफ बिलीफ, मतलब इन किताबों में बिलीफ के बारे में बहुत बात करते हैं, तो व्हेन यू हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ बिलीफ इन योरसेल्फ तो वो हो ही जाता है. तो आई न्यू समहाउ कि मैं कर लूँगा, मुझे जो करना है कर लूँगा. जब ये डिज़ायर मेरे अंदर आया 17-18 साल की उम्र में तो उस समय से ही, उसके बाद काफ़ी टाइम लग गया बिकॉज मैं तो बनारस से हूँ, आई हैड फैमिली के रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़, तो मुझे 10-12 साल लग गए इंडिया से बाहर निकलने में, पूरा प्लान बनाने में कि मैं थोड़ा बेसिक एजुकेशन कर लूँ, MBA कर लूँ, पैसे जुटा लूँ. बट during all these years it was very bad for me. Like my mood used to be very effed up, stressed, unhappy, because I'm not able to do what I want to do. But I knew that मैं कर लूँगा, मुझे किसी की पड़ी नहीं है, मैं कर लूँगा. So that belief was there. तो उसी वजह से हो भी गया ये काम.
Let's see. Let's go with you all the way in the back.
बहुत जल्दी टाइम बीत गया.
ऐसे ही होता है यार दोस्त का लाइफ में.
So Next Indian Memes is something of a subculture between boys groups or like men's groups in general. So do you feel that those memes sort of bring in more people or generate curiosity among people who haven't been initiated to content like yours? So
Yeah, memes definitely is a good way of marketing.
so you do that genuinely, or is it something that other people do for you and you reap the benefits of that thing?
Yeah, it's like, so I'd like to introduce my team member, Devesh here.
This is the admin of Next Indian Memes, by the way.
Please.
guys. Let's go.
Don't take his photograph. Don't take his photographs.
Admin has to be secret.
हाँ, क्योंकि उसके घर वाले उसको निकाल देंगे फिर अगर वो अभी मेरे जैसा नहीं है कि मैं अपने मन की करूँगा. So I mean, obviously, like a lot of other people also make memes about me, and I do not know them personally. I've never asked them to make. So it's a marketing benefit that I'm reaping from their work. So I mean, they're also getting benefits because I see some profiles. उनके बाकी रील्स पे कुछ 100, 200, 500 व्यूज़ होते हैं और कुछ निक्स इंडियन पे बनाते हैं तो 1 million, 2 million व्यूज़ हो जाते हैं. तो दे आर ऑल्सो गेटिंग बेनिफिट, आई एम ऑल्सो गेटिंग बेनिफिट, तो चलने दो.
बढ़िया. Okay. Yeah, one final question. Yeah.
So, as AI keeps getting mainstream, do you think human-to-human intimacy will become a legacy feature?
Yeah, I think
तगड़ा सवाल पूछ लिया Nix.
younger individuals will still want the human-to-human intimacy. Like relating to that discussion which we were having about, because of independence, why relationships are so short-lived and all that. Human-to-human intimacy will be there for younger people, for people who are in their middle ages, who have been heartbroken few times, who have been cheated upon, who have not got what they expected from that intimate relationship, that, girlfriend-boyfriend relationship and things like that. They will be scared of having another relationship and they will switch to AI for all kinds of, killing their loneliness. But younger individuals, the teenagers, the 18, 19, 20 years old who have never had relationship, they will still enjoy the human to human relationship. And I wish that it works for them so that they do not have to become slaves to AI. But those who are, fed up of human to human relationships because they never got the right one, they will go to AI. Like so many people have no friends today. They only have ChatGPT as their friend. They're talking about everything with ChatGPT, not one real friend. Like I feel very pity because I know people. I'm very fortunate. I have a lot of friends. I have friends from my school. I have friends from my engineering college. I have friends from my MBA institute. And not too many, but in total 6-7 friends I have got whom I can talk to anytime. But a lot of people don't have even one friend, not even one friend to talk to. So I think younger people will still enjoy the human to human connect, but older people probably not.
Amazing. I want to say, Nix, thank you so much for your time. You came to India after 8 years and you decided to spend your Sunday night here with all these people discussing your life, the business of porn, and being the first guest on Dostcast Live. I also want to thank every one of you for यहाँ तो गर्मी नहीं है, मैं बोलने वाला था गर्मी में आप आए हो, यहाँ तो अच्छा मौसम है, but for being courageous enough or at least curious enough to attend one of these. This was our first. If we make mistakes, I'm really sorry. We were trying to invent something new. I think we've done maybe a halfway decent job. वो तो footage देख के पता लग जाएगा. But in 8 years of podcasting, this is my first live show. And it's the wildest thing I've done up till now. Even Nix's podcast was not as wild as just being in front of people and seeing everyone having watched the podcast being here in person. So thank you so much. Dostcast to the moon. Thank you.
सब कुछ तो बोल दिया लेकिन I mean, yeah, I really appreciate, everybody and a diverse audience, men, women, like I said earlier, also, it takes a lot of open mind for people to come out and, not judge an industry, and not stereotype it. Look, this is an industry which exists and it has an influence on everybody's life. Everybody knows about it. Everybody enjoys the product and services of this industry. But still people are not ready to talk about it objectively. But, kudos to you all that you came with such an open mind and open heart and had some amazing conversations, questions. On behalf of Vinamra, I apologize for those of you whose questions we cannot take. But it was an amazing evening for me. And I wasn't expecting, first of all, such intelligent crowd to be here asking such intelligent questions, very relatable to everybody's life, not just only about my work. Like some questions were very, very intelligent for everybody to ponder upon. So thank you very much. Thank you for being here, and I look forward, to have these kind of interactions more when I come back.
Of course, and the most important CTA, subscribe to Dostcast
and nixindian.com.
Thank you so much, guys. So we're just going to take some photos now in a group. Thank you so much. Thank you.